guys are having a good Tuesday. For a lot of us, it's the start of the work week. Got a lot going on right now with the severe weather. I'm kind of getting into more of an active pattern. So for today, we're going to be covering severe weather pretty much. We have ongoing severe weather right now, including a derecho in progress. It started really, I would say, all the way back towards Nebraska and South Dakota and has worked its way off to the east, and now it's working its way through Iowa and areas such as northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, eastern Iowa. You guys are looking to be next. We've had quite a few wind reports already. We're already sitting at 187 and counting because this is still in progress. I would not be surprised to see quite a few more. No tornado reports from this thing, which is a good news. But we do also have 23 hail reports. We do have tornado reports, but they're in weird spots. Like over towards the Delmarva, we have 2 tornado reports. And then over towards Colorado, or the Colorado-Nebraska line, we had 1 tornado report. Doesn't look like anything major as far as that's concerned. But we will expect these numbers to be rising tonight. Maybe not so much the tornado threat. Can't rule it out, but I'm definitely thinking this is going to be a big night for any damaging windstorms. Then, as you can see here, on Wednesday and Thursday, we have 2 slight risks, so we'll go over all of it. Start out with tomorrow, since we already know the threat for today, and it's already in progress. Start out with the slight risk over here towards Montana. You guys can't catch a break over there. We have Glasgow, Great Falls in play for this. Billings, you guys are just on the line between slight and marginal, leaning more towards marginal, and the same can be said for Sheridan and Wyoming. And it's funny because we have this marginal area, this marginal risk stretches pretty much almost like a dividing line between the country, so to speak. This stretches all the way from parts of Idaho all the way to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. And areas in between are involved as well. Missouri Valley, you guys are in play as well. Corn Belt, you guys have a marginal risk. And even kind of creeping close towards my neck of the woods, my part of town, like home, so to speak. Fumbling my words there. But even some parts of Atlanta may even see a little bit of action tomorrow, possibly. Setup seems like it will be just right for maybe a pop-up storm. Which now leads us to our second slight risk area that's hanging around the Ohio and Tennessee valleys and working its way onto the Carolinas. North Carolina in particular, you guys are in play. I am looking at you guys out of the 2 Carolinas. Pretty much the entire state's in play for severe weather from the Appalachians all the way to the coast. So Charlotte, Raleigh, Wilmington, look out. There could be some nasty storms tomorrow. We go into, I would say, the southern half of Virginia towards Roanoke and Virginia Beach. You guys are going to need to be on the lookout. The eastern half of Tennessee. I would say about half the eastern half of Kentucky. You guys are in play. And, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Ohio Valley. So all my folks in Springfield, you might want to be on the lookout. Columbus, you're in play as well. And we can't forget about Indianapolis and Louisville. You guys are in play as well. Take a quick look at the hazard types. Tornado threat's minimal. The hail and wind threat are going to be the most prevalent threats with this setup tomorrow. The hail threat's going to be greatest, it seems like, over towards the Montana setup. Let's quickly go to day 3. And it seems like now, the first, just like yesterday, or just like the day before, we have yet another slight risk in Montana. Same areas pretty much, maybe just a little bit further into Montana, if anything. It's more like a Montana exclusive type storm. You guys really can't seem to get away from it, can you? I kind of hate it for you unless you're a weather nerd, and I love it for you. As long as you're staying safe, then that's all that matters to me. And then, once again, we have this thought out boundary right here. It's causing more severe weather. This time when we go towards the marginal risk, now we have Atlanta in play, my hometown. And and it's pretty much the same thing. We have a marginal risk that stretches from Idaho all the way to the east coast here. Now, and even Savannah in Georgia could be in play as well. We got Charleston in play this time now. Slight risk is a little bit further to the east and slightly more south too. Again, some parts of Atlanta are in the slight risk. Other parts are but the rest of you guys are in the marginal risk. Maybe towards East Atlanta, like far East Atlanta, you might want to be watchful. Eastern half of Kentucky and Tennessee, you guys got to be a little bit more watchful. Then we got West Virginia in play this time, and all of Virginia as well, too. So not very clear on the hazard type, but this seems like it's going to be a conditional type setup. So we'll have to just keep an eye on it and see where things go. This may flop and not produce anything at all, but if there's a chance, we obviously need to cover it. We'll look at the low-level jet here, just cause there is a 2% chance of tornado. There was a 2% chance of tornadoes tonight, but I'm not too sure that threat's gonna hold out. According to the Euro here, the low-level jet is not impressive by any stretch of the imagination. Even on day 3, we don't really see much of anything. Might want to look at the mixed layer cape and see if there's any chance of more storms developing. We'll have to watch maybe toward the end of the week for something popping up around the Ohio Valley. If storms form in that area, it could be interesting. But beyond that, there really isn't anything that screams out tornado threat to me, that's for sure. So now that we've looked through that, we'll go ahead and take a look at our mixed layer cape. Since our main threat's damaging winds, and I mentioned this in the last video, which will be in the top right hand corner here, that the mixed layer cape is what you look for when you're kind of leaning towards more of a damaging wind threat. Excuse me. Whereas if you were looking towards surface-based cape, you're kind of leaning more towards a tornado threat. I've said it before in previous videos as well, that if I get 10 likes on a video, or shoot, maybe even if I get to 50 subs by the end of the year, I'll make some videos that will kind of break down why I look at certain models, and so on and so forth, and just kind of go from there. Just try to help expand on everyone else's knowledge, and also try to expand on my own too, because there's still a lot I have to learn. Anyway, though, enough rambling. Let's get rolling here. As we get into Wednesday morning, obviously the cape usually drops off, and we usually wait until the late evening hours for things to start to pick up. There is a little area around the coastal Carolinas that are really interesting, and that's going to be something I'll be watching real close to see how storms develop in that region. Could be a marginal to, again, slight risk for damaging winds. And then it really looks like the cape kind of tries to pick up around the southeast more tomorrow. Gonna make sure I'm not overlooking the cape values in Montana. They aren't as impressive. The southeast is definitely getting a little bit more of a cape-rich environment. And even towards Friday, we'll have to watch over there as well. Seems like a really conducive setup for development there. Alright, and then, of course, last model, we're going to look at the reflectivity. We're going to see what lies ahead for pretty much all of our severe weather regions here. This is what is simulated to be our ongoing derecho as it's moving through Iowa tonight. This kind of comes apart by the early morning hours, but unfortunately, I think this will do it will cause a fair amount of severe weather reports. I'm not so sure about damage. Let's hope that stays on the low end. We'll hope that stays minimal. When we go with tomorrow's threat, we're gonna mainly be looking towards, I think, about the 5 o'clock time frame around the southeast for these storms to start developing. kind of look like line segments. These storms may very well not move too much either. These storms, like lately, when I've been looking at storms around here, when I see them on radar, they just pop up and they just hang around there. So be on guard for flash flooding as well. All right, and then as we look towards Montana, I think once we get towards maybe about 6 or 7 local time over there, that's when the storms will pop up. Won't be a lot of daytime heating for those to work with, so I do anticipate them kind of falling apart quickly. And then here's our upper level low here around the southeast, kind of showing itself here on the map. And of course, it brings with it more storms, especially towards the latter half of Thursday. And the same can be said for Montana. And as we go towards Friday, here's yet another storm system. And this does kind of coincide with that low-level jet that was hanging around the Ohio region, the Ohio Valley region. So we'll be watching that a little bit more intensely. Then on Friday evening, we'll have to watch for a line of storms that, according to this right now, is poised to go through the south and east. So this could be another significant line of storms. I don't know if I would be able to call this a BOEC or a Derecho just yet. We have no idea how this is going to form, but it does pique my interest. Well, hope this video was nice and quick for you. This is all I got for you right now. If you like what I'm doing, of course, on these videos, drop me a like, leave me a comment, give me some feedback. Of course, if you want to help me grow this channel, leave a sub, share my channel, spread the word. Helps out a lot, especially when it comes to getting information out like this. But so tomorrow I'll probably be making another video, most likely a long-range forecast. We'll see how things go, but until then, this has been Tire Metalhead Weatherman. You guys have a good night.